Recording has started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Babble, and I've only been up for 30 minutes.
What? You eepy?
I am a
You
little
eepy,
apey.
sir?
I am a little apey, but as usual, that's probably the best outcome for me to play this character. I'm playing Paz today, and I am joined by the wonderful, the beloved, my darling beloved Sibster.
You cannot do this to me! I mean, I set this up by accident, but you can't do this to me! You eepy missile! Hi, everyone! I have been affectioned. It is I, the Vwild, as ever on the bullshit, and I am playing Detective Lin Stagehand today, and possibly someone else later on.
Don't worry about it.
Seriously, don't worry about it. We just here, man.
We are, in fact, just here, and we are here today to angst and soft. Holy shit, it's not all pain today.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I
That
hope
does remind me, I need to roll her die.
this is true. I need to also roll Pazes, because
We're gonna sidestep that 99. 99 down to 11. Okay, we're good.
okay, so 10 is really not all that bad. So you know what? We'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Alright. You know what? Makes sense given the activity of the day that both of them are doing decent.
I'm sticking my thumb up, nobody can see it. That's fine.
I chomp your thumb.
How dare you?
I bite it harder to assert my dominance. Before we get into sibling conflict and I kill you with my biting, how about we set the scene? Babble, where is your wonderful, wonderful character today?
I don't know how long it's been here. It's probably been there for a while. But it is currently at what is essentially the unofficial, but also kind of official grave site of where Gibbs was last seen. And for those of you that don't know, Gibbs is fucking dead, for one. For two, it died via explosion, and in its wake, it left a fuck ton of gold around the area.
Yeah, you say explosion. Explosion usually means quick. Bastard.
It did not go quickly. But, anyways, I digress.
Mm-hmm.
But it is decidedly not standing in the fucking middle of that. Because in, I think, its first visit to what is, to anybody who doesn't know, which would be the normal person, just happening across what is left of it, um, literally just the fucking gore site because of its biology. Um, but also, like, when it first visited it, it discovered that, hey, touching the gold, not a good idea. Putting anything in the gold, also not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not gonna get that back, and you may also turn to gold. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's also fucking blind, so don't question why it knows this without being able to see. But, whatever.
I mean, the sheer fact of there's probably been a few people going, holy shit, no! If something does turn. Or, in fact, even without people, if a leaf went into it, you'd hear the sound of it turning to metal.
Mm-hmm.
Those sorts of things. And also, it's not a complete dumbass.
This is true. All of these things are true. I'm sure that Kara's probably blocked it off from anybody else, like on the outside, including monsters from entering it.
Didn't catch that last part.
Oh, Kara's probably if I know RJ, and I know what Z would have Kara do in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Kara's probably blocked off people who don't have much sense from entering the area while
Mm-hmm.
they're busy like cleaning it up, and it's taking a while, even though it's also dissipating on its own.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to minimize as much stuff that's going into it as possible and just helping funnel it away.
Yeah,
That's all you really can do in these circumstances with something like this. Because you can't get rid of it. So you just gotta wait it out.
yeah. It
The
is.
Greek fire, the Greek fire gotta burn out.
Good news is that it is going away on its own. It's just you know where it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some people really remember it more than others.
Yeah. But it's just kind of chilling
Mm-hmm.
near the edge of it, so just kind of
Mm-hmm.
quietly chilling there.
Bless it. I'm gonna ask it to roll a perception.
Oh hey, fun already. Let's see. I don't know why I bothered looking. It hasn't changed, even with the new rolls I gave it. Motherfucker.
Nice.
Just so we're clear, everybody, that was a low roll technically on the dice, but it still got a fucking 21.
Mm-hmm. You know, the person who's coming does have advantage in dark environments to be stealthy. However, she's not being. Not today.
I mean, also given the fact that it's blind, I don't think it matters.
I mean, it's a magical bullshit thing. She's managed to fool Haddie with it.
Fair enough.
It's more darkness gives her the ability to do it rather than, haha, no one can see me in the dark.
Fair enough.
So, Paz, you're out here now. I'm assuming you've come out at least a few other times, given you've been back a while.
Hmm.
You've not encountered anyone else on these trips out to this site. So it probably comes as a surprise when you hear the sound of footsteps. Not directly behind you, but coming from the direction of town. The sound of footstep and cane and tail.
I'm gonna say that 21 is probably it taking a moment to figure out, is this Asclepius or is this Lin? Because there's only two people it knows that has a tail and a cane.
I mean, the sheer fact of the size difference would probably be a strong indicator of this.
Yeah. Like, it takes it just all but a second for it to
Yeah.
realize which one it is, but still, there is that, like, slight hesitance of any kind of reaction while it figures that out,
Mm-hmm.
which is a surprise because Gibbs would not have noticed at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Gibbs also wouldn't have reacted at all. I'm gonna ask Lin to roll a Percepi then while I do this, because this is new. That would okay. I mean, I didn't. You're not really trying, anyways. But at the same time, buddy.
Well, even if it had rolled high, it wouldn't have rolled this high. 28.
LMAO.
28 versus 10.
Yeah. You kind of noticed exactly when it realizes that you're there, because immediately the difference. A, you're still a pretty good distance a fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
But B, its ears go back for all of a second, and its fur raises. Not in like an aggressive way, but in a I can hear something way.
You hear the sound of her footstep and cane step and tail stop. And then there is the faint smell of pumpkin spice on the breeze. Very much the indication of who is here. And then she does just very quietly, which is probably. Well, Paz doesn't know Lin too much yet. But depending on what it recalls, she's not usually one for this level of quiet. But she does just go, "Good evening, Paz."
It's taking it a moment, because it's trying to decide how the fuck to respond. It was not expecting talking. Um,
You know, with that in mind, she would actually continue after a pause. Just. You don't have to respond. I am only here for a. Well, I'm here for something, but. You do you, and I do me. Okay? As we need. And she almost, from the sound of her movement with her cane, she has ever so slightly. I want to say the best word is. It's not a bow, but it is a head turn of respect. Roll me insight if you like.
oh hey, it's another one that's stupid high.
31. Nice. You don't know Lin incredibly well. Not yet. Maybe once your predecessor knew a few of her ticks. You can tell this is a very somber monkey. But the way she's gesturing to you now isn't that way that one does with a stranger. It is one she sees and recognizes, and is trying to give respect in the way that one gives respect at a somber place, at a place of memory. This is Requiem. And she's trying to give you space potentially that you need in the way that she almost wants it in some ways while here.
I'm not even gonna bother making you roll for any of that. Because when she says that it doesn't have to respond, it doesn't necessarily relax so much as it seems to stop trying to think of something to respond with. And as she continues, especially with that, not bow, but gesture, it is absolutely tracking her where she is, very much so with its hearing rather than anything. It's still just kind of staring forward. Um, but at the realization of familiarity towards it, there is a hesitant flick of one of its ears.
Hmm. She's curious about that. Well, about that ear flick. She's curious about everything all of the time. But she came here for something, especially because she does actually, after another moment of observing it, basically checking to see if it wants her to leave, even if it would not say it wants her to leave. But at receiving none of those sorts of non-verbal cues, she does turn away from it and turn back towards the gold because, well, it's really small now, isn't it?
At this point, I imagine it's mostly gone, and she'd be right in assuming that it isn't bothered by her being there, because it's the air that around it is pretty much just basically neutral.
Mm-hmm. It's neutral, and she is surprisingly calm for the liveliness that she usually is. And after probably a little bit of them just being in silence, she does actually start moving again. Not towards it, but towards the gold.
Depending on how close she gets, will dictate whether or not it opens its mouth to say something. But if she's not going so close to it that she is at danger of touching it, if she slips, then it's not going to say anything. But it
She does.
is very much so like tracking her closely.
Yeah. She does get relatively close. It does sound as though she just keeps on walking towards the gold. But when she's about 2 cane lengths away, so, and I mean full cane lengths, so it would probably be about a her away from this, she does stop. And she's not facing Paz, she's facing the gold.
I don't think it'd say anything with her being that far away from it. So it's just kind of continuing on its own sort of thought while also keeping track of where she is and what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
It's.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, you go.
It was just a small note, a fun thing, multitasking that was also well outside of Gibbs's perspective.
Hmm. She does. What's its passive perception again?
27.
It does hear her speaking. Under her breath. Very much. Very hushed, very quiet, very soft, very gentle. Gentle like this place deserves that Gibbs didn't get much in life. And what languages does Paz know again?
Oh boy, that was also updated. Give me a moment. Let's see, don't know where exactly to find that. I think proficiencies. Yep. So, Common, Zoran, Orcish, Draconic, and Yeti.
Okay. You don't get part of what she says because she is talking in all the languages that she knows. And so there is a flow of common to different common dialects to giant, which is what she speaks in quite a bit for a little period. And then she does switch to Zoran as she pulls something out of her, not her hammer space, but her pocket. As she does just. She's still switching those languages, but she does go to Zoran and just go, I'm sorry it took me so long to make this, but I wanted to give it all the care you deserve. I'm gonna miss you, and I will always love you, Gibbs. Rest well, my dear friend. And she places something down, or she goes to place it down, and then she thinks, and then she does cast something. And you hear that paper being taken by something. And then from the sound of the breeze, from the sound of the paper, you can tell it's moved on from her hand to going over this gold. And I'm going to grab my notes, because Paz, God's bless you, you're bland, you cannot see what she's put down.
It can take a few
But,
educated guesses, but they're probably
yeah.
going to be wrong.
I mean, what does it think it is?
Either thinks it's a note, a piece of artwork that she's done.
I mean, honestly, it's not wrong with the second part of that. It's not one piece of artwork, though. It's quite a few. And it can't see it, but I will describe for our audience that Lin over time shows dedication to others through her actions, her acts of service, and appreciation through art as much as she can. And she has been robbed of parts of the ways she can express that over time, but she still made effort with this because it was meant as a gift for Gibbs. First as a gift in life, and then a gift in death. Because over time since its death, and I mean, all of this has occurred since, she's tried with this giant canvas that she has folded here. Has got different sketches and watercolours and charcoals and multiple mediums on one large folded sheet of paper that are all different art of Gibbs. Gibbs with people. People that it loved, that it treasured. Gibbs on its own enjoying life in a way it found the way to do so. And Gibbs resting. But also the witness parts of those past lives that it found some joy, such as being dropped on that adoption front desk by its wife, or holding its children. All these little bits of art of it, with the grispa, with different people it enjoyed and cherished. And then the part that's open, the part that's exposed to the moonlight. There is a final one. The last part that will be seen, which is Gibbs that first night she met it. In that dress of orange and purple that made her look like war crimes and disease and so much else that baffled it. Gibbs
Literally a
staring.
walking war crime.
Yeah. And it's just the best painting that she could do of Gibbs staring up at the moon. And she's actively used a wood carving technique to do the wood carving paint on something to press it down to give the fur detail, to give distinction to parts. Just as it was, peaceful, with an almost half smile. And the other side of it is Gibbs staring out from where it had been wreathed in animus lights of the tree on its good mischief day. And it is peace and mischief and times of love and connection and tribute placed as this offering to the dead and a token of love for one that is now gone but never forgotten.
So, when it finally does reach the gold, the second that it does, it also starts turning to gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only when it's entirely turned to gold that it also starts to disintegrate with the rest of it slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It's oddly pretty, the gold disintegrating, because it looks like little tiny flecks of it floating up into the air.
She takes considerable peace in that and just watches it go. And she's run her calculations. She's done all the maths that she could from times where she's taken reports or checked in or found as much as she could in the times when, by complete coincidence, Paz wasn't here. And in the time before it was able to be here, those 2 weeks. And she knows this is the last day. She cut this as close as she could. because it deserved all the effort that she could give. She doesn't have any words left for this. So she's just going to watch and think and remember and love until this is done.
It does so slightly faster, but enough to be noticeable when the artwork that she put in there starts to disintegrate. It makes all of it go just that little bit faster. And I'm going to say this for everybody. Uh, that will be a thing that happens. You can contribute if you like
Mm-hmm.
to making it go faster.
This has been happening for over weeks, guys.
Yeah.
You've been leaving no evidence because it all gets eaten.
Mm-hmm. It gets eaten, and like the little tiny bits that you put in there will make it go ever so slightly faster, but enough to be noticeable and also soft. I look at you. I give soft some form of it.
Bless.
Like you are being heard in a weird way. So, hee but Paz also doesn't say anything until probably maybe an hour or so, 'cause it's very quiet. Um, but it's probably an hour after it's all gone before it finally speaks. It's nice, you know. At first, I thought I was the only one that was coming here. Not that I don't. I wouldn't have understood why if I was, but I'm glad I'm
Oh,
not the only one. So,
indeed. We're not the only ones. There have been others here to pay their respects.
I've never been happier to be wrong, I guess, in a weird way.
It's nice to be proven wrong about such things. And she does mutter something under her breath. You can't get what this is because it is meant only for her. But she does step back from where she was at the sight of the gold, and she does actually turn to you again. Just tilts her head in the. Again, it's respect of a familiar person, the kind that you do at funerals or such. Just goes, I'm glad to see you. Even if I wish, well, better circumstances, but it's nice to be together at such events. To mourn together.
It isn't quite sure how to respond to that, but it is just kind of quietly nod.
Thank you for letting me join you.
I'm not sure why I would have denied you.
I'm so sorry, beloved, you cut out there like garbled garbage.
God damn it. Um,
Eat your mic. Eat your mic.
I can't eat my mic any more than I already am.
The comment I was going to make is inappropriate for daytime television. Alright. Try
But
it again.
um, I I can't. I'm not sure why I would deny it.
Sometimes it's nice to have time on your own for reflection. And I understand that.
I think the 2 weeks that I spent alone out in the ocean was more than enough. Thank you. And it says that as it's getting up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to see you here. And hale and hearty off the waters. You look well. Do you feel well?
I'm here.
Okay.
You sound tired.
So do you.
Fair enough.
And she does give a little sigh, and she does just look back towards where the gold is now gone. You know, something I have found over time helps with tiredness. That helps with mourning like this. Is to enjoy time with others. To let love in. Each find their own way, and each do this differently. But if you'd like, we could go back to network together. I've got tea, and biscuits, and such. Might be nice to spend a little time, not alone, if you would like.
Sure.
Alright, right this way. Could you roll me another insight, if you please?
Sure thing. Okay, buddy. Just
Let's see, does...
just keep rolling those 21s. That's
Yeah,
fine.
let's see. Doesn't beat her DC, but you do get... How best to word it? She She feels warm when you agree. And perhaps just a little bit of that tiredness just eases slightly. You can't. The very hard thing is you can't see her face, you can't see her expression, you can't see her eyes. Which makes certain parts of telling things about her harder. But she does seem warm as she turns and leads the way.
Alright, I'm going to roll it a thing, because this is just it naturally doing this, rather than
Uh,
intentionally. So,
what is it?
it's a stealth.
What is your passive? Yep, no, she can still detect it. Her passive's 22.
If she wants any extra, uh, feel free to roll her a perception.
Okay, that's a 30.
Okay.
She she wants to love who this is, however, she is naturally a paranoid person, okay? She needs to know what's going on around her.
Yeah, no. That's fair, and quite frankly, she's probably clocked that. Admittedly, so is it.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing she'd notice, it's not doing this on purpose.
Mm. Bless it.
Like,
Bless it, Your
it is just quiet naturally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it is also following her based on her own footsteps.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just her footsteps, because as they go along, like, they leave this place where living and lost, well, were able to say their goodbyes, were able to share that love. They leave that place behind. Because it is full of love, and now it is gone. But as you come through here, it's as you start getting into town, you do hear her humming under her breath. Just no true tune to it, although it does sound nice. But you can tell where she is. It's easy. She's not hiding. It's almost in a way a beacon. She's not hiding from you.
Where, for one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting little tidbit is, it is stepping where she has stepped.
Hmm.
And again, it's not doing this on purpose.
I almost want to say, can I roll insight or investigation to think more on that? Because that does seem interesting.
Go for it. Whichever one you think would be the most fun.
I'm I'm gonna say insight specifically because she is trying to learn who Paz is. This is about decoding Paz because she wants to understand it. That is going to be that.
22. So, this is literally just something that it's doing on instinct. That it has not done, well, not quite to this level since its first life and the life where it was first married. But it's much more prominent in its first life because that was something that its mother and siblings taught it to do. Specifically, to hide your tracks is you follow um, your party in a straight line and you try to step where the person in front of you has first stepped so that it looks like there's less of you.
It would also, from what Lin understands, there were cold environments, there was snow.
Mm-hmm.
By doing that, the person in front is making the path easier for the person behind because you're
Mm-hmm.
not having to wade through so much snow, it's not getting caught on you.
Exactly. And while Paz is much larger, that is still a habit that is apparently well ingrained into who it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that she probably wouldn't realize until this moment that Gibbs also did, just it didn't do very well.
I mean, makes sense. Its coordination wasn't always the best. She's glad Paz has that ability here. And she just tucks all of that in mind as she continues to hum, as she continues to walk with it behind her. She does. She does look back, but it is not in the way of someone checking that you are there. She knows it's going to be there. She knows because it has said it will be. But she does it because she cares. But as they get there, Gibbs didn't know Network very well. Timeline is timey-wimey and such. I mean, does Paz know what Network looks like?
Uh, Probably not.
So, they do eventually come to this place. And yeah, that humming that Lin does as you come closer to this building. Yeah, well, passive 27, I'm going to give this. There is a harmony to the hum that comes into place that you can hear from one of the buildings on this street. And yeah, that's where you're coming. You're coming to Lin's home.
I lay here in the fact that, passive 27, yeah, I'm pretty sure it could probably hear that from down the street.
It doesn't start too loud as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you do catch, but even with your passive 27, you know you've caught it later than it started.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it shifted to something that you could hear. But you do hear when Lin reaches the door or the porch steps, and her cane and footstep and tail reach that porch and then step up. She just goes, "Come on in. Kettle's already warm."
I am not going to question that.
One of
Uh,
life's joys.
it is going to take a moment at the door and kind of feel where the top of the door is so it doesn't just like smack face first into the wall above the door.
I think this is, for all it is Lin's home, this is a place that is made for her connections to come. This is the heart of her connections. And seeing as Asclepius with his antlers and Jacques can come in, Corvitz and Paz might have to. How tall is Paz again?
8'6".
Okay. You do feel it. And in fact, as you come close, as you are feeling, there is a warm breeze around you that makes the dimensions very easy to feel, so you know how much to duck. But when you get inside, you don't have to crouch. There is ample room above you.
I will note that its ears have not stopped moving very
Mm-hmm.
slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they do visibly go back and then, you know, uh, go back forward.
Network, are you going to be an actual network? You are a child. Network, you are a child. I've got to roll you a wisdom. You are a little child. You are a wonderful, precious baby. Where is your wisdom save? Okay, 25. You do not start playing with the ears. Good.
Okay, yeah, no, that is good. I would have had to roll as a whiz save.
I love Network so much. She is toddler. I mean, she's good. She's a very good bean. She tries her best. She is good, especially because Paz has not been here before. So she restrains. But you have stepped into a very warm building, Paz. It is warm, it is inviting, and there is that hum that just reverberates through this entire building. And you do realize you're in, from the porch, you step in and you're in a foyer. And Lynn, standing in the middle of it, goes, "Where would you like to have refreshments? We could go to the library, or, I do have the kitchen upstairs. It is rather nice."
That is an excellent question. I'm going to roll a thing. Uh, yeah, it'll be fine to go upstairs to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, it's gonna take a moment before it answers. But when it does, it's going to mutter uh, wherever you feel most comfortable, I guess.
I mean, I'm comfortable wherever in this place. Hmm. Can Lynn roll an insight or a medicine or something to figure out how much pain it's in? Because you know, I know, meta, we know that it's doing decent ish. And also, I'm going to let you in on the secret that Network does accommodate things to make the stairs easier because gestures are chronic pain monkey.
Understandable. Have a nice. She can do that. However, I
Cool.
do also gesture at Long Leg McGee over here.
Okay. That is going to be. Uh, let's go. It's going to be the same roll no matter what because both of those modifiers are the same. Let's go. Medicine is a treat. 25.
uh, it is doing pretty okay.
Okay. You know what? Upstairs, we have. I've not actually invited guests around to sit on them yet. This is going to be great. I've got these nice, really plush sofas. They're upstairs. We're going to go up there. I'm going to get the tea, and we're also going to get refreshments. I'm gonna guess sour palate.
Uh, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Would you like me to bring out a few things? We can give it a go.
I I leave that up to you.
Okay. And just know there's no obligation to try anything. Genuinely. If you're not feeling up to it, no harm, no foul. This is all about your comfort as well as mine.
There's a very slight nod.
And she does just turn. You are in a foyer that has, like, it's in some ways like the manor, in a lot of ways not, because this place is so much smaller, bless her. She has got wings. But you have got the two stairwells either side of the foyer. And I get to show upstairs. But you do go up, and Paz, as you are making your way up these stairs, roll me. It's about your surroundings. You can roll Arcana, you can roll Perception, you can roll what you see fit.
Oh, yeah, honey, your Arcana is shit. But I think it would be fun.
Mm-hmm. 18. So, Paz, you do. Lynn goes up first, okay? And you can tell where she is because she's just absolutely at peace in this home. She is just walking, and you can tell exactly where she is because she and the house are both making it known. It's as you're coming up, you do hear the sound of the steps creaking first, And then as you put your foot down, you find that the stairwell is the perfect size for your foot. And as you're going up, it is easier than perhaps you would have found it in a normal place. Like there is a little bounce to your steps. It doesn't throw you off, it doesn't change directly under your foot. Nothing is shifting. It's already accommodated with you in mind.
There is a pause as it's going up and realizing that where it does, because it's not wearing shoes at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
where it does like the little stretchy of one foot with the toe beans, lifting it up, and like that's a weird feeling.
I apologize to Paz as it puts its foot down at least, like, probably once. There is. It feels nice, but there is that warm vibration under the foot. Just beans! Beans!
It is lifting its foot up again and looking down, even though it can't fucking see, and it's just like, the fuck? Doesn't say anything, but definitely thinking it.
You can't hear the beans, you can just hear a hum, but Network is just so delighted by beans. Network, you are surrounded by animal tunes. Network, your warmth bringer has beans. These are new beans, apparently.
These are real kind beans.
These are real kind beans. They have weird squish. Network is fascinated. But you do make it up, without any trouble. And it's a nice place. There is the good wood, the nice, that really aesthetic sound of when you walk across wood, but it's nice quality wood. That. And there is carpet and such. And as you do reach the top of the stairs, you do hear sounds from a room or kind of a place at the front end of the house where you have just sort of emerged from. And you can hear sounds of the kitchen going on, like the little whistle that a kettle makes as it's being taken, ready to be poured and such, and the sound of a fridge being closed.
Yeah, it is absolutely looking in that direction.
Yep.
Um, ears pricked and constantly moving.
Mm-hmm. And you do just hear Lin just go, I'm gonna be right there. I'm just doing a little bit of balancing. I have several things. This is okay. I have multitasked before with pie. The it's past the open view area. Network sweetheart, if you could. And you do feel it's not directly around your ears, so there's no whistling or anything, but there is just that warm air that just funnels past you, kind of in a go this way direction. As you are nudged towards what you can probably see over there is a little T mark on the little map.
Hmm.
It's the little table where there are seats.
I hold gentle. I am going to roll the thing. Okay. How about you fight me, Avray? Okay. I see the word decimal and immediately think of RJ.
Honestly, mood.
Uh, but it is following, although its ear is flicking at the feeling of being ushered anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You do you do hear, like, after like a minute, the little jingling of stuff on a tray and everything kind of being balanced. And then, because there's no door to the kitchen, it does just lead out into the rest, unless, Network desires it. But you do just hear her from the opposite side of this little bit, and you do hear her just go, "Oh, so you can usher people nicely. Good. Can you do this with other people?" Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me. I love you. You're a gremlin. Do not knock me over. I am holding lemons. And then there is just her coming over. Just comes over. You can still hear her cane. You can still hear her and the jingle of what is in her arms. And then she does just get to the table and then just put down this tray of tea and treats of different varieties and just go, "Didn't spill it. Yes!"
I think by this point, Paz is already sat down, but there is just going to be a funny moment where it's like feeling around, expecting something to be shorter than it is.
Everything is. It is actually interesting that everything does, as you sit down, it feels tailored to your height. Like, you'd expect this chair to be fucking short given who Lin is, or anyone else in her household, but it's your size. Exactly.
Yeah, so we just have like a funny moment of Paz kind of feeling around, trying to figure out the
Mm-hmm.
height of the seating area. And
Mm-hmm. Probably bashes its hand against the side in the way that doesn't actually cause pain.
mhm.
It's just the where is it? Oh, it is not short as hell. I'm not sitting in a beanbag.
Yeah, and so it's more than likely sitting down by the time that she gets there, but there is just that funny little tidbit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How is it? Comfy? I can get some more pills if you like.
No, this is fine.
Okay. I bring tea and I bring biscuits of different varieties and candied lemons and normal lemons and a coconut. We're not to eat the coconut. Network just gets a little bit upsetty spaghetti if I don't have a coconut with us because it's a great conversation starter, isn't it?
I have questions that I'm not sure I want the answer to.
She got it from a pirate mouse. If you're asking, if that was going to be one of your questions.
No,
Oh, shame, because that has a fun story to it.
I was going to
Anyway,
say why. Um,
because she wanted it from a pirate mouse. Well, she didn't strictly want it from the pirate mouse. She just wanted to give the pirate mouse uppies, and then coconuts came out, and then she fell in love with them. And so here they are.
child logic. Okay.
I. Who am I to question the power of Network's coconut collection? And as she says that, she kind of just holds her hands out in the dramatic, "We do not question." And as she does so, there is the sound of coconuts in the walls.
Its ears are absolutely moving to detect all of that. Um, but also I sit here and like it is so confused.
That is the average life for anyone that Lynn interacts with about this house. Confusion.
Its ears do kind of go back after like a little bit of it, like maybe
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds of it.
Mm-hmm. It does stop after like 6 seconds. And Lin just takes her own seat. Just reach forward and grab a cup of tea and just take a little sip.
It takes Paz a moment to find its, but it eventually gets there.
I mean, honestly, all it has to do is reach out and it will find it on the table. Like, there's not any need for fumbling. The moment that its hand is reaching, it will find the cup.
Fair. I just also know that it's going to be extremely careful, so it's probably going to try and find the table first and then the cup.
Indeed. This house is very accommodating of the blind.
Not surprising. I also just sit here.
Indeed, and I love it. Just she does let it have like beverage time and time to just settle because she also gets being in new place sometimes you need a second to adjust to location and even to adjusting to okay, this is what we are doing, this is our task now.
Yeah.
It will find like the assortment of treats are placed before it. There isn't any obligation for it to have any. They are just there in easy reach. And also, one of the reasons why Lynn chose things specifically as she did is that they're all very distinguishable from each other.
How many are there? Different kinds.
Uh, there's probably four different things like normal biscuits, candied lemon, genuine lemon, because that's a thing, and probably something salty, like salty as well, just in case.
Okay. I'm gonna roll
Probably
it.
preserved lemons as a treat.
uh, would you say maybe some lemon jelly?
You know what? Yeah,
Because I think that'd be fun.
if it likes it, yeah.
I'm gonna roll a d4 and see which one it goes for. Okay, so we're just going for the straight up lemon. Alright, you fucking weirdo.
It can probably smell it as well. Like Lynn will have made sure to, you know, when you slightly scratch the lemons so that they give off the scent, so that you can tell where they are.
Mm-hmm.
That Lynn is also accommodating of the blind.
Now the question is, do you just fucking eat it straight up without bothering to peel it, or are you gonna be at least somewhat respectful?
I mean, Lynn genuinely does not care either way.
No,
You
you're,
could
you're
bite into this lemon whole and she would just be happy.
yeah, it's gonna be a heathen.
It just do a big old chompy.
Dude, just do a big ol' chompy. As if it's a goddamn apple.
You know, given the state of Lynn's entire family and everything and anything, she just accepts it immediately. There isn't even a what the fuck look. There is just this is her life. She just doesn't even go through the five stages of grief. There is just immediate acceptance. The five stages don't even knock.
I mean, this is also just part of the course for Gibbs. Like, it ate spicy lemons, quote unquote.
Was I'm sorry, spicy? Is this like you and spicy banana?
What? The
Is it
spice?
allergic? Was it allergic to lemons?
No.
Good. Because for a moment, every time someone says, oh, this tastes spicy, like ketchup is spicy, and then you find out, oh, shit, they were allergic. So
No.
good.
The lemons that Steve sells, Steve with the good
Loading
lemons.
lemons.
hmm They
Yes.
I've always imagined that they have a different flavor than just normal lemons.
Adds that to my notes from Cop for when he wants to ramble.
Um, I've always imagined that they have a slight spicy gunpowder taste to them.
Ooh.
It's very slight, but it's enough that anyone would notice, but it's not unpleasant.
You've now made me hungry for a lemon that does not exist. Curse you.
Suffer.
Curse you, Babble the Periplatypus.
LMAO.
Alright. Is it happy?
I mean, it's eating a lemon.
You can eat a lemon out of obligation to eat something, and you can eat it out of genuine enjoyment. Judging by, it not just taking a polite little nibble, Lynn's gonna assume.
I mean, it doesn't. Hmm. The emotion that I'm getting from it is not happiness, but it's not negative either. It's still neutral, but more on the positive side.
Neutral contentment?
Yeah.
You know what? She'll take it. And she does just let it have lemon time. And probably picks up like a biscuit for herself. Has a little nibble for a bit. Kind of wants to see if it wants to break the ice first, or whether she's going to be the one. It's giving it some autonomy in how this goes.
Hmm. Ground roll thing. Do you have the courage for this?
That's 22. Is that a
Hell.
good thing?
Yeah.
Yay!
Question is, what does it start with? That is an excellent question. Paz, please. I know that you were Anxiety McGee, but come on. Uh, the only thing that it really has in mind is like, not gonna go for a lemon either, coward.
Oh, teasing me out with that straight out the gate. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. But also, hmm, how big's this dare? I mean, you've already called me a coward, but there's a big dare.
I don't know how big I can make it in relation to you.
Hmm. Peck you. Grabs one. Just grabs a lemon. No restraint, only heathenhood. Chomp. That is a. I just rolled her con for shiggles. That is gonna be. You know what? I think there's a funny comment that she wants to make that I'm gonna let her. Okay. So she does it, takes the bite. It's not what she'd prefer to go with, but it's not hideous. She's probably done stupider. And then she does just munch. And then you do hear her giving a little mlem to it, just mlem, 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 mlem. And then she just, it'd go great with Parmesan. Parmesan lemons.
Right, so I'm leaving now.
No! Please wait, I can change.
There's no saving you.
Oh, straight for the heart immediately. Well, I can be saved one way or another. Hmm. Hmm. Perhaps if I soak the parmesan in lemon. No, that'd curdle. No, we have to keep it this way around. I'm sorry, it's the only way to save the lemon.
I can't believe this.
You dared me and you called me a coward. I only aim to deliver the truth. I ain't no coward, sunshine. Crunch.
Gotta introduce you to the spicy lemon then.
Ooh. Well, monkey won't say no to new delicacies.
We'll have to get a hold of Steve then.
Is this Steve with the good lemons?
Who else would it be?
You'd be surprised, there are a lot of Steves. Like, a ridiculous amount of Steves. And also different people who have lemons. I'm pretty sure there's a lemon farm somewhere. But yeah, everyone knows Steve with the good lemons. I'll see if I can pull some strings. See if I can get him over here. I know a guy who knows him.
I mean, it seems like all I have to do is walk outside the town and he's there.
New note. Steve Summoner.
Not on purpose. Also, he doesn't seem to be doing it on purpose either, so.
This is Anquil, bitch. These things spontaneously happen. We just gotta roll with it. But honestly, I look forward to trying it. Thank you.
They make for good getaways.
My. I've used that cart once or twice. Well, I've arranged for it to be of use for someone else. Very, very useful for getaways. You think you're gonna use it for getaways in the future?
Not unless I have to.
Discord, for the love of God, can you stop stealing the Babble's words?
In Discord's defense, Paz does have a very quiet and low voice.
Chomp on your microphone, Discord, eat your heart out.
I still cannot put my mic in my mouth any more than it already is.
Bless you.
Um, but it essentially said not if it can, like, not unless it has to.
Okay. I mean, hopefully you get some fun getaways in the future. Although, admittedly, trying to shove you and, say, Kovitz in the lemon cart, that might be a bit of a feat.
I think just getting myself in the damn lemon cart might be a feat.
Hmm. It is a picture of a sight, though. I want to see it happen. Just maybe.
Well, getting into trouble is a lot easier than I had expected, so.
Discord!
Discord, you're a whore!
Vwild is a motherfucker. Discord is a whore.
Let me just adjust that. Hopefully that makes it better. Anyways, um, it mutters, uh, getting into trouble is a lot easier than it had expected.
Aye, again, you sound well. Trouble and shenanigans and all that sort of malarkey is very easy to come by compared to the rest of the world. It's pretty sure we got a predicament probability uptick or something. But one of the good things is got a lot of connections to help you out.
It's not going to comment on that, and you can roll an insight if you want.
Yeah. That is gonna be. Ha 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 ha. think, think.
Meets it, beats it.
Thank you, dice.
It is pointedly not responding to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you probably know about one of the more recent things that it got up to, and the fact that it hasn't left town since then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, just know if you ever need any help at all, you got a monkey in your corner. But, asked before, but how are you doing, given everything, Paz?
What do you mean?
I think in part you know, but you've been through a lot recently. With literally everything from day dot of all of this to now. Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
That's okay. It's okay to not be sure. How are you feeling right now, if you don't mind me asking?
Um, fine?
If Discord ate the other part of that word, I swear to God.
It said it was fine, but there seemed to be like a question mark at the end of that. It's not
It
100%
sounded,
sure.
it sounded like I'm, and then it just didn't.
I pat you so gentle. But it said and then fine, but like there was the kind of question mark at the end of that. Like it wasn't entirely sure.
Okay. It's it's okay to not be fine as well, you know. I know I'm not always fine. Times can be rough.
I um I'm still not sure. So,
Okay. Well, it's something that can be figured out. There are people to help with that. Therapy is a good one, but also just talking. Talking can help sometimes.
I'm already in therapy. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad. Difficult to ask for help sometimes, so I'm really glad that you've got that help.
It's kind of quiet and a little awkward as it takes another sip of its tea because it does not know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Lynn, going heavy on the first conversation is a bad idea. So she is just going to slightly change tacks. Not as a, I am diverting from this entire situation, we're never talking about it again. More as a, okay, let's actually get to know it before we dive into heavy shit and such. She just goes, so, how you been keeping your time recently? Anything you've been enjoying?
Um, I've been knitting.
Ooh, now that's neat. What kind of things do you knit, if you don't mind me asking?
Uh, just scarves at the moment.
Ah, picking fantastic. Those can get so long and they look gorgeous. I don't. You turn yarn into such incredible, intricate things. I mean, I know there's scales in that sort of thing, so you go with scarves, and then some people go into jumpers, and some people go into hats, and some people go into socks. Some people like socks a lot. Bless their cotton socks. Well, wool or yarn. You know what I mean.
Yeah, my grandma was very much so a sock person.
Ah, well then, a very good talent to keep. If it makes you happy, then I'm really pecking glad. Everyone needs a good hobby.
Um, what about you?
Eh. Oh, this and that, honestly. I like dabbling in quite a few things. Depends on what my hands allow per day. Needle felting's been quite fun. I'm working on multiple different projects. Got a really nice rose coming along. And then I have other ones. Have I got any on my person? Hang on. Hang on. That is a one. Alright, we're pulling out the fumble shot. Someone pray for me.
Fumble, fumble.
How the fuck did you get the 8, which is the needle felts? Okay. Hey, do me a favor, roll me a d7.
Okay. That's absolutely hilarious, by the way.
Alright, 4. Both the things. Okay. She pulls out. You can kind of get a moment where she goes, hang on. I think I found. Well, oh, wait, no. No, I thought I went into the. Oh, never mind, never mind. And then she just pulls out a little thing. She goes, it's ugly and it's beautiful at the same time. I made a bat. It's hideous. And she sounds so delighted as she says this. And then she's just holding it across the table to you.
I think instinctually it's gonna look towards it, but it doesn't take long for it to realize I can't see, and then reach out to touch it.
It's Paz. You can tell this is like one of her. I'm slowly chipping away at it because I made it early and it's ugly, but at the same time I love it and its ugliness. Oh god, this bat is misshapen. This bat feels as though it's probably like it feels as though if you saw this at any other plush thing, you'd be like, this has been thrown at the wall so many times, but you know it hasn't because Lin takes care of things. It's just so misshapen, man. It's just so loved and misshapen and ugly, but ugly in the fun way.
I don't think it would laugh, but like n- I think it's one of those things where it's like it knows that this is an early piece, so like there's no sense in laughing at it.
Lin will. It's ugly as sin. She treasures it.
Like I sit here in the fact that it probably does like it and thinks it's cute, even if it can't see it. Don't worry about it.
I mean, she will go for like this was one that was actually on her list of potentials because it's just it is something it can tangibly feel. If you give it like the blob ghost, it ain't gonna be able to feel that besides it's a teardrop. This is just lumpy bumpy glory. And she does just go, I've been making several because it's very therapeutic. I mean, my hand sees sometimes, but honestly, it's really good for physical therapy on that front. And it's nice when my pain days are low. So I enjoy it.
I mean, needle felting also helps with aggression, right? Because you're just kind of stabbing something.
Aye, you're stabbing something and making something, a bit like surgery. This is why I'm not a doctor.
Your words, not mine.
Roll me insight if you like.
Yes. Hey.
Alright. What's your lower? What's your lower one of your things? Because I'm going to give Paz this as a treat. Okay. Yeah, you have met the lower DC. Lin is intentionally being a little shit. She is saying fun things, and she's enjoying your response.
I sit here and Pass is just being, uh, it's not actively trying to be an ass in, like, the negative sense. It's being. What's a good word?
This is banter in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell that Lin is taking it as banter and is savouring it. It's not even as though she's actively manipulating the situation, she's just actively enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to, I take not quite requests, but I take ideas. I could make the ugliest peking fox we ever did see out of this stuff. Or
You
a
insult
lemon.
me.
You are a very pretty fox. You are peking fantastic. You are treasured. I could make this look like a fox that hit the dirt. I will make it lemon colored in your image.
That's
I
not.
know you are not lemon colored. I will make it lemon colored for you.
It's not hard to make a fox look like it's been thrown in the dirt. They live in dirt.
True, true. I'm kind of thinking of the way of, when you go uppy and then you go down, but you kind of go into autopilot and then you just go smush. That. The entire front is going to be a bit smush. Accordioned.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen, but sure.
It is glorious. It is peckin' stupendous. No words can describe how stunning it is.
Ha.
Tell you what, at some stage, I will create the pictures and we will indent it, and then you will be able to experience. Or we could go with a memory, but that's only if you want. And that doesn't have to be today.
It's taking a pause and it has the slightest little shit eating grin because she completely missed the pun.
Oh. If it was about its sight.
No, it was about an accordion fox being stunning.
Linda's stop. Realize that there was a pun, because she is a punster. And then she does just fix you with the look.
If you're giving me a look I can't see.
Judging by you saying that, you can tell anyway. It's palpable. I'm palpably doing it at you. Network, back me up here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You listen here, you little big shit. I know this. I make puns too. But fine. Keep your pun secrets today. I will draw out the notes another day. We will read the sheet music. Tis only a matter of time. She full on does the sitting in the chair holding this lumpy bat like a Bond villain.
It's just sitting there. Innocently.
If you're gonna pull that expression, I'm gonna drop something on your head. Hang on, it's a nice thing. And she just prestidigies a halo. Just plop that down on its head. I beg and love you, you son of a pig.
There's a flick of the ear at that, but it's quiet.
And she does sit back in her chair after a second. Just puts the little bat like on the arm of the chair sort of thing. And She does sit back with her tea for a moment, just sipping. But there is that warmth again. Roll me another insight if you like. Nice.
Pass.
You get the feeling that Lin is specifically enjoying your company. You can tell she's in this moment. She might do things that perhaps remind of past in some ways or others, but she is living in this moment with you. You get the feeling she might want to say something, but also just enjoying this moment. Just genuinely enjoying time with you.
I am not going to make Lynn roll an insight, uh, because Paz is more relaxed now,
Mm-hmm.
and it has taken to, instead of like sort of sipping, although given the fact that foxes don't fucking have lips, it's kind of hard to.
This is Ainquo. These are just creatures. It can have lips.
I sit here though, and like it would do this mostly to be polite to everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't actually get any like much liquid when it does that.
It can mlem if it likes.
It is going to start mlem.
You know, Lynn does pause for a moment in her own drinking, and then she also mlems for a second as well. Not even in a I'm actively copying you sort of thing, but in a we are both we are both animal creatures. This is something we do. You are not alone in this.
Fair as heck. There
Mm.
is a slight purr at each mlem.
Yes.
Very slight, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lynn is very pleased at this. Lynn is so fucking pleased at this. I'm gonna go even with a 24. You just get warmth. But oh, Lynn is internally very pleased at this. God, she does kind of want to say this at the same time. It leads on to other conversation.
If after enough silence she doesn't say anything, it
Mm-hmm.
will just bluntly, like, it will set down the drink and just look at her before quietly muttering, God, I don't know how to word it the way that it would, because it both wants to be straightforward and kind of an ass, because that's just it, but it also knows that it would be being an ass.
I mean, the monkey has put up with you being an ass so far, and she seems to be enjoying your company.
There's a
And also,
difference between being an ass affectionate and being an ass what the fuck.
mm-hmm. I will just say, as soon as it had been about to, like, put the cup down and done it, Lynn did make this curious little simian.
Its ears absolutely do a little flick at that, but this, like, quite a few flicks you've known it to do
Mm-hmm.
are like flicks that indicate either discomfort or dislike of something,
Mm-hmm.
and that was usually of the right ear.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of like either both or the left ear, which is both usually indicates like either it has noticed something or it was interested in something. Just the left ear usually indicates that it likes something. Um, there was a really fucking weird ass mixture of it being both and the left.
Nice. She is taking note of this internally.
But then it settles the last flick is on its right because it knows that she wants to talk about something. Like, and all of that happens in very quick succession.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to take the route of just being honest and kind of an ass. And I'm sorry.
It can. She's honestly appreciative. We'll see how it goes.
Alright, spit it out. And no, I don't mean the drink.
Thankfully, I didn't have a mouthful, and I don't waste good tea. And I did make the good tea today. It's, I guess words are hard for me. I assume they're hard for you as well sometimes. The desire to clam up. Or not even the desire, just sometimes words leave and you can't find the right ones. Um, I wanted to say that it's nice having you here within Network. Nice to get to know you, Paz. I admit I know I offered for you to come anytime you liked. Last time we saw each other, when you were taking Corvitz home. I was pleasantly surprised when you took me up on the offer today.
Why?
Because you hadn't dropped by before. I didn't know if you were gonna say no.
Fair.
Why haven't you dropped by before? You don't have to share if you don't want to. But if you'd be willing, I'm here to listen.
In part because of more recent events,
Hmm.
which I know seems counterproductive.
Hmm.
Um, Also, in part, because I, I don't know. I don't know you.
Indeed. This is all new. This is all strange and daunting in every sense of the word. And this is our first proper solid conversation.
I wouldn't exactly call it a solid conversation, but that's not your fault.
Indeed. It's perhaps a better way is this is a bridge in a place called Requiem. Peace to the dead, peace to the past. Peace, Paz.
There,
This.
there's a slight blink because you literally just said its name twice in different languages.
There was a curl of a smile in her words, especially as the irony of the phrase of when someone passes is rest in peace, including in Spanish, including in Zoran. But she does just go, I think part of everything is best summarized in the word limbo. Being stuck, being stagnated, being in that state of not quite sure, not quite knowing. Not quite knowing how to go back because you cannot go back. Not quite knowing how to go forward because everything is new. You can't stay, but you can't figure out how to change or what to do or how things all shake out now in the aftermath and the beginning. That sound familiar?
A little too familiar.
We don't know each other well yet. But I do know one thing. And she just kind of looks at you. You can't see her expression, but she does lean slightly forward. Not in a way that's invading space or anything, just in a way that is comfortable. I know that I love you, Paz.
There's a blink, and its expression kind of changes, and its ears go back a little bit. It wasn't expecting that. And it isn't sure how to feel about it.
Mhm. I know that I love you to a degree because I do not know you yet, but I know that I want to. I know that I would like to have connection with you and to see the spark of love grow into something that is distinctly yours. However, love is a two-way street, just as connection is a two-way street. Bonds and the relationship, the form that a relationship takes. It is down to choice and direction of both parties. You don't know me very well yet, and I don't know you very well yet. But there is a chance of learning.
Oh, okay.
What would you like, Paz?
It's quiet for longer than I was, because brain. Um, because it's unsure. Because yes, it does want this. At the same time, the words English. I lack the words for what it feels at the moment. I think to put it bluntly, to say love at the moment is far too soon for it.
Honestly, she'll take that. If if that's what it says. It gets no hint of judgment or disappointment or any negative emotions at all from Lin. There is a genuinely calm acceptance. She just goes, okay.
It would try and say some form of that, although I admit that it would probably fumble a little bit more than I did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she knows how to read between lines.
Hmm. So it would eventually get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it would want to try to get there on its own for a moment.
I'm just saying here and now, she does not interrupt it.
Ye.
It is only when it reaches a point where it has finished and it is looking to her, in that way someone does when they've finished speaking, that she would even think to start cutting in.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think it's probably after it's done a kind of admittedly anxious little attempt to explain what it means. That it stops. Which isn't that long, but still.
And it has her full, non judgmental awareness and acceptance immediately. She is focusing on it. She is not in a way that feels stifling or oppressive, but in a way that feels as though she is hearing you. She just goes, "Thank you for telling me. Your opinions, your way of wanting things, your decisions here are valid and incredibly important to me, so thank you. I am glad you feel comfortable enough to express this. And we can take this however you want, okay? However you wish to have this, us, I will accept. If you want to build something, if we end up building something, then that's good. That's fine. And whatever direction that takes, I am here and I will support it. And I will work with you. This is a new path for both of us. And if our paths diverge in the future, that is fine by me. It's what makes you most comfortable and you most able to thrive, Paz.
You probably don't need to hear this, but don't forget to include yourself in that, yeah?
It's taken me a long time, but I've started to accept that. But thank you. These things are hard, especially with recent events, recent times. But the vast variety of connections can come from many things. There is, if I could ask one small favor,
Um, sure?
don't be afraid to be an inconvenience. At least not here, okay? If you ever need to run somewhere because other places are overwhelming, or if you have a question about something you don't quite understand and you want someone else's opinion, or you just want somewhere to rest for 5 minutes, or just someone to be blunt to, anything, even if it's to say something brash or assholish and you're not sure quite who you can say it to, no, you can come here. You never have to be afraid to be an inconvenience within these walls, or to me. I'd like for you to remember that, if nothing else.
I don't like making a promise I don't know if I can keep,
Okay.
but I will try.
That's all we can ever ask for. The ability to try. And while I struggle with it myself, if you'd have me, you can dismiss me at points, but if you'd permit, I'd like to be an inconvenience myself. Just every now and then.
It nods.
Hmm. Thank you.
There's a slight trill.
There is a very soft simian chirp, backed by a harmonizing hum in response. Hmm. Well then, this is good.
I lay here.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Mm-hmm.
did you have anything else that you wanted to cover, or should we just leave it in this comfortable quiet and soft?
She had many thoughts of things she could bring up, but honestly, I think this is the best place to end it. How they go from here is their decision.
Yee. And there is always our DMs, which I know that we had intentions of doing stuff there too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I forgot.
You forgot.
I forgot. But
Mm-hmm.
I sit here. I hold them so soft.
Yeah. It's Lin wanted these cards on the table, especially the capacity for love.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very different to the future she was going to have with Gibbs, but that future was never going to happen. So she looks forward to what this is. Because this is very different. This is not Gibbs, and she will not even call it like Gibbs. This is something else. And she looks forward to Paz.
And I do sit here and like it basically hitting me in the face just how little it knows. When hello?
I mean, straight up, Lynn just sits here in just. She knows she doesn't know it. She knows it doesn't know her. She physically cannot give it everything because
Mm-hmm.
she physically cannot be transparent with anyone, not even her partner. The only person she can possibly be transparent with is the building who is part of her.
Mm-hmm.
And even then.
Which is so fucking fair. And I just lay here and like I didn't realize until this FPS, just how little it knew about what it even felt. Like, it knows that it wants to build that friendship, but it didn't know where the hell it stood. And, like, now it does know, but at the same time, it's like, yeah.
I mean, that's actually what Lin wanted to get out of this. I'm gonna be hella honest. Lin has done a bit of manipulating, but not in the bad way. This is just what she does. She cracks shit open.
hmm
It's not even for her benefit. It is just I crack shit open so other people can figure shit out.
hmm And in this situation, that is so fucking helpful at this point because Paz is still in limbo and it's confused about everything.
Yep. Lin is specifically taking a sledgehammer to open up. I will call shit out. We will do this. But yeah, we're leaving these guys with their bitten into lemons and their tea and their emotions.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll take her up on her option of coming by. But that's for it to be seen.
I mean, it will. Just
Yay!
gradually after everything. It probably takes some prodding from Corvitz.
Yippee! It is gonna find her happy every time it comes.
That,
Well, happy to see it.
yeah. I sit here. The rest is for DMs, but thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Vwild, for playing. I hold them so fucking soft. I love them.
Indeed. Bye bye, wonderful audience.
Bye, everybody.